This episode is a start to a new series that we're going to have here, and it's the friendship series. I've been thinking about friendships quite a bit, and I've been navigating some emotions when it comes to friendships. And although I've touched on friendships before, I feel like we've touched on it a few times very lightly. Today's episode, though, we're going to focus on seasons in friendships. One of the things that the Holy Spirit has been ringing in my ear is like the importance of seasons and friendships and being able to navigate those seasons. When I was younger, right, I never had to think about seasons because we're all going through the same thing at the same time. There wasn't anything where we had to experience two different stories at the same time. What we tend to misunderstand is that there are times that seasons and phases don't necessarily have to be these big things where someone is moving or someone is married or someone has a child. It can be that there are times in your friendship where there's uncertainty. You're not necessarily sure of where you guys stand. You're not necessarily sure of the values and how they are aligned anymore, where you place that person, how to prioritize that person in your life, what kind of friend that person is to you, whether or not you feel as close. You're trying to understand how different personal situations demand different sides of you. Even as someone that is in their faith and all of that, a lot of times God is asking you for different sides of you with different people. The more we recognize seasons in our friendships, the more we recognize that it would not always and it should not always be the same thing all the time. In looking at adulting and growing in your friendships, there are times where grace comes in the form of communication. Grace comes in the form of having a different perspective and understanding, okay, what's this person's story? How can I be a little bit more understanding in this situation? But how can I also advocate for myself in this situation? Where is this person at right now? What stage of life is this person at right now? How am I holding space for this person as well as holding space for myself? How am I able to live in this friendship without resentment, without anger, and all of that? Again, depending on the kind of situation that you're in, right? For example, your friend moved to a different country. You have to allow time, right, for adjustments to be made, but you also have to be open to the fact that there's the possibility where she's making new friends or he's making new friends, and there's now an adjustment. It doesn't necessarily have to lead to the end of the friendship. If you're someone that is submitted to their faith and you've given your life to Christ, you would find yourself in some situations where you don't know what it is, but you just feel differently, right, about certain people or certain things. And I think that wisdom comes in your place of prayer. Wisdom comes in you asking the Holy Spirit for help in how to navigate that, because you have to now you have to then reevaluate your expectations, reevaluate how you would go about life in a different way with these people, right? A lot of people just go into that season of like, okay, I'm cutting off my friends, I've given my life to Christ, I have to find friends that have the faith, And I wonder if that's a thing that society has placed on you or is a thing that God has asked you to do. And in that, if God is asking you to give someone space or change the way that you're interacting with certain people, is He asking you to cut those people off? Is He asking you to literally let them go just like that? Or is there a better way to go about it? I've had to kind of now in therapy as well talk about the possibility and the different scenarios that can come up and how I can choose to navigate that, what respect looks like for me in different seasons of my friendship, what honoring looks like for me in different seasons of my friendship, because those things are important. In as much as seasons change, are your friends honoring you, respecting you, treating you with care, valuing you, being able to communicate? And how are you communicating if you would like more in a season that you feel like you guys are a bit distant? How are you giving time for things to also play out? These are questions that you ask yourself, right? There might be second chances. I always pray for an open mind. I pray for a graceful spirit, but I also pray for a discerning spirit, because sometimes you guys might have been the best of friends, okay? But that's not what it is anymore. And there's a reason, and you just need to let it go. And you need to be discerning. And I struggle with FOMO. I struggle with sticking to a story. This is what I've known. This is what I'm familiar with. This is what I'm comfortable with. And I cannot fathom someone or that relationship changing into something else. And so I'm in shock, right? And that shock just upsets me and can last for years. I'm not even joking. So I've had to just come back to that place of prayer and ask the Holy Spirit for help in how am I discerning, how am I preparing, and how am I also being open to the reality of how humans are, and being open for things to just play out without trying to constantly control how things should play out, if that makes sense. I wanted to read something to you guys. Remember, I was talking about this book, Finding Your People. I've recommended it once now or twice. So go and read it if you're interested in stuff like this, especially when it comes to friendship. But there are two things or three things I'm going to read out. The first is, it is still completely normal if shifts in your friendship bring up abandonment issues, even if you know you're not actually being abandoned at all. Because for now, and maybe for now only, the friendship dynamic as you previously knew it has changed. For how long, you likely won't know. I realized that this was yet another case of where checking in with yourself to see what you need to soothe yourself can help. And I also want to read this part where it says, people move, they get married, they fall in love, but oops, it wasn't love. They find themselves, they lose themselves. And friendship is about being able to love and support each other through all these seasons, all these phases, and learning to mold your friendship in fresh new ways as that clay may change and shift colors and texture into something new. It doesn't necessarily mean it's something bad, but just different. I can say that that's the best way to sum up what I think seasons in friendships look like, where you're constantly having to mold and adapt and shift in a way that takes care of you and also takes care of that person, and also how you can, if that season has to call for you guys not being friends anymore, how can you take care of yourself in that situation as well? You're constantly molding, you're constantly adapting and checking in with yourself. Okay, we have another background, and I felt like it just made more sense for me to show you my product and my favorite for this week without being in the same space, because like I said, it was already pre-recorded, but I changed my mind, so I'm going to do it even though I sound very, 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 very dodgy. So my random fave for this week is the Loop earplugs. I love it so much, I bought another one. I traveled to Korea a few months back, and I took this with me and I thought I forgot it there. So I went ahead to order another one because I literally just don't know how to sleep without it anymore. Again, New York is noisy, and I found that having earplugs just helped me sleep better. I randomly found out about Loop on Instagram a few months back. I remember, I think someone was just talking about it, about how they use it when they go to like a concert. And for me, I was just struggling with my sleep a little bit. So I decided to try one, and this was the first one I got. This I love. I love the hoop thing. I love the shape of it, the way it is made. I love the logo on it. I think the product design is amazing. I'm into design, so stuff like that really just makes me feel excited sometimes. This one didn't come with a loop, like it didn't come with any like rope or anything like that, which was quite annoying, or which is quite annoying. I feel like it's just nice. And then this doesn't also have a design fit for the shape of the earplugs, which I just felt like, we've already gotten something good. Why are you now changing it and making it so basic? It's basic and it is big. These big ones are the latest ones, and these were made for sleeping. So the way it's shaped to fit into your ears, it's shaped to fit into like the actual, I don't know, the shape of your the drums, I think. I don't know if I'm saying the right thing, but it's basically shaped to fit in well. And I'm telling you, I literally love this to sleep. They just take out the noise and everything in between. You would probably hear people talk if someone is so close to you. Like the person has to be on your bed to be able to have a conversation with you, and you can hear, but it's muffled. Do you get what I mean? It's muffled, but with the sounds like the cars passing by, everything like that. No noise, literally no sound. I love it so much. So I love the sleeping ones. The only problem I would say that I have is that the cover on it, it has like a silicone cover on over the foam. I think that it comes off a little bit sometimes. Like I'll wake up and it has kind of pulled out of the foam, but you can easily just pull it back down. So it's not like it's not the biggest problem, but I do think that it is a product malfunction. I just feel like there needs to be, or is a flaw. You know what I mean? I think it needs to be better, but I love it for sleeping. I've tried like regular earplugs, like the ones you just get randomly. They are not as good as this one. I hate that I'm talking too much because I'm supposed to keep these reviews at like 1 minute, 2 minutes, but I wanted to just talk about this product so much. So if you're in the market, like if you're looking for new earplugs and you're just dealing with a lot of sound, even for your kids and whatnot, I think that this brand is really good. You can check out their website. I think they have like for different things, different needs. I really, really, really like it. So yeah. I'm looking forward to this series because wow, there are a few things that we are going to touch on. I'm just like, it is quite a lot. It's quite something. But yeah, that's it. That's all I have when it comes to seasons. I'm looking forward to the other topics we're going to explore in this series. But let me know what you think. When you hear seasons in friendship, what comes to mind? Leave it in the comment section below. And if you're not subscribed, go ahead and subscribe to the channel. Follow us on Instagram. It's that deep pod. It's going to be on the screen and it's going to be in the show notes if you're listening. I will talk to you guys next week. I love you so much and talk to you soon. Bye.